First, I want to just thank the Moonstone Art Center for having this event. You, Elijah, for inviting me and for staying on top of me and making sure that I left my mind and that I made myself here today. That being said, I actually want to jump right into it and tell you a little bit about me. See, there used to be this confidence I couldn't find. It was everywhere else in the atmosphere, just not in my mind. I'd tell myself, stop being nervous, but self didn't always listen to me. He's a body of his own, so it wasn't until I decided to own my own shoes that I became the best me I could ever be. And that's why sometimes they're Jordans, sometimes they're dress shoes, sometimes they're just shoes, but all the time they're mine. So when you see me, you don't just see me. All you see are my shoes and how they've helped me overcome my fears and walked me right up here. I'm sorry, let me introduce myself. My name is Poet Nathan Antoine. It's nice to finally meet everyone. But actually, let me start off by apologizing. See, I used to look down sometimes. I used to think my dreams were down there. Silly little ruses, disguised as everything but my fears until he spoke to me. I said, I'm telling you what you have to do in order for me to reach you. Slow down and look up. I was too nervous, afraid that you'll hate my words, laugh at my soul, and make a grown man cry so deep I'd stop. Hopeless. I couldn't transform inspiration, although I knew failure. Failure was just not an option. See, the bees buzzing in my ear would tell me, it's okay to look down at your feet. As long as you recite, I will not yield to defeat, because these are my shoes, my feet. Life can test even the best, but your shoes are worn, never broken, though sometimes torn. And they remind me when they fit. If not you, then who? All right, y'all, so that's the first piece for tonight. All right, thank you. So, and Elijah, I'm sorry, how much time exactly did I have?
You can take 10 minutes for this session, 10 more minutes, just keep on going.
All right. So that's the first piece that I wanted to just kind of introduce myself. And, my catchphrase that you'll hear in some of my poetry is in my mind. And I thought that would be, of course, suiting to share that piece with you. So I'll tell you a little bit about my mind. So really, one day I realized my mind was my reason to smile. It took a while because I was distracted with immature politics, my work life, my personal life. Man, I just needed to go places, so I rolled up, took a puff, then cascaded galaxies. I never knew the solitude of my own mind could be such an amazing place. It's just sometimes when I'm having a tough time, I think thoughts that arrange themselves as if I'm having a conversation. It's just the first thought knows to itself as a question that I must now answer, but these answers, they too know to phrase themselves as more questions that too require an answer. But now I'm left with so many words in my mind that are all working for you. Although sometimes the doors are closed, barricaded, because I'm afraid of what you might find in my mind. Naked pictures of you. Super sexy, sophisticated things I want to do to you. Or maybe some things I want you to do to me. All that I ask is that you feed my mind, because in my mind up here, I can create art out of love that made a home where there was once only a chair. You know, there's a galaxy somewhere up here in my mind, but don't only adore my mind. Indulge in my mind. Grab my hand and let's take a walk somewhere, anywhere in my mind. Or maybe find a wall and become a fly and just sit and observe the symphony in my mind. All right, y'all. So that's the second piece titled In My Mind. All right. Thank you. So I have one more piece, another piece that you'll find, I think for me, when I think about my mind, you'll find throughout my poetry, I say the words in my mind a lot because I didn't even realize how much of an empath I was until I started feeling things, and then I started thinking things, and then I started writing things. It's just, so for the next piece, let's see. It's just sometimes what I feel become those thoughts I think that magically become those words you see or hear or feel if they reach you. Although sometimes what I feel, love, makes a fool of me. Anger turns me into post-Bruce Banner. Anxiety beats my heart so fast, I believe it stops. Doubt makes me question me. Happy, I smile even when my world is held upside down, but I share it anyway. It's just I enjoy writing. Even when I can't figure out if it's there, or there, but I write them anyway, those words you see. See, I don't want to be famous, but I do want to be a poet. I want to bring the words from my mind to your ears or eyes or heart. I just want to reach you. So I'll leave you with this food for thought. Who are they? They talk a good game, live without shame, and lies define them. Who are they? They tell us what's in season, then change the color without warning or reason. Who are they? They have metal eyes and are watching us grow. We can't hide from them. They're everywhere we go. Who are they? They claim first name morals, last name ethics, yet at heart of most wars ever said, hidden behind gloves, hands that are red. Who are they? They tell the story, write the book, own the narrative. They have the power. But who are they? In peace. So that's that last piece titled, Did My Question Reach You?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Elijah, thanks for the great welcome. Yes, this is my third time reading from Moonstone. I was featured in their collection, Struggle for Freedom. And like Elijah said, I just published a book last year with Toho Publishing, Bury Me Here. I put up a couple links. You can find it at the Spiral Bookcase online in Manayunk and from the Toho page directly as well. So let me get started. This book was kind of about, as you can tell, the themes about death, but not just physical death, also death of ideas, beliefs, love, and how we can learn from them and move on from them if we can. And that's kind of like the direction I took with the book. So, the first piece is called Nails and Coffins. Fall into the earth, we will not escape from memories. Compassion lies in wait amongst the constant reveries. Scale back the skin of ancient guilt and redundant swallowed mesh. Lower your tomb, woven into bones, surrounded by excited, tightened flesh. Hollow out your niche and carve into the stuttering synonyms. Push the dirt aside and seal the lid on what begins. This next piece is entitled Pastime. It's a wasteland in these dictionary days, endlessly competing with the meanings. So I find myself giving considerable thought to what I'd like to wear to the apocalypse. There's a contemporary comfort to be had by surviving in the arms of the skin you choose to pay for. While with all the praise be netting me next to nothing, I'm having a hard time staying awake during funerals. It just seems too easy to recognize someone when the only thing in the room to contend with is exaltation. I told them I'd pray for him, but the truth is, I haven't prayed for anything since I played center field over 20 years ago. It was there that I was left to hope, all alone in an ill-fitting uniform, impatiently waiting for a chance to prove myself. I demanded that the ball be hit to me. I needed to catch it in such a fashion that the moment would become a mausoleum. Oh, how we struggle for moments to define us, because we know that drawing breath isn't enough to fill the seats. But do we ever fathom that even a casket full of highlights might not be enough to keep people from yawning? Thank you. This piece is called They Are the Wolves. I've tried to be that man who smokes from a pipe while reading epics in a rustic leather chair with amazingly detailed buttons and ornamentations. But the truth is, I'm better at being nothing. Fools know the value of watching from a perch and marking their territory. They do not have to stress or prod. They have simply surrendered, throw themselves to the wolves. Now they are the wolves, and they are being taught to hunt. Yet my blood will never be on their teeth, for I avoid the howls of existence. I'll hide behind the studies I've built, and no one will sniff me out. All right, I got two more pieces, and then we can move on to Susana, and then I will read to you guys later on. This one is titled Another Drink Cart Full of Good Intentions. In the same way we need the volume to be an even number, we pick poisons because we know that there is just something off. And we're always willing to go higher, to get lower, to make it feel right. We gather around the bottles, mark our spots with XXX, bury our treasures and sell the maps. We gulp grapes, ingest juniper, pound potatoes. We drain the solids, drink their twisted blood, and push our limits. What poor bastard figured it out? Figured that he could change a mood with flames and patience, trial and error. I'd like to buy him some spirit. Make sure he knows it's from me, nothing like a wasted gesture of exoneration. Ah, fuck it. He left ages ago, sent on his way before he could fall off the cliff we all go barreling towards. Well then make mine a double, and don't cut me off, my friends. I'm driving nails tonight, not cars. Thank you guys once again. I have one more piece, and then I will see you later. This one is titled Surfaces. Pull my veins out. Coil them from your wrist to your elbow. Make sure to get them all. Leave nothing to me. Now stretch them around the buildings, the bus stops, the power lines, the people, the garbage, the garages, the stalls, the steeples, the overpass, the overhang, the forest, the features, the lights, the language, the cars, and the creatures. Stretch them to the corners of the earth and lower them into its faults. You'll find them to be hollow and empty, only useful for disrupting the stable nature of things. Thank you so much.
It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for the intro, and thank you for your beautiful hosting. And I love sort of being in Philly, the city of brotherly love, and as Elijah has told me, also now the city of sisterly affection. So I'm going to open with a poem about love. This poem actually came out in Moonstone Press's Black Lives Matter anthology at the end of 2020, and it's called All We Need Is Love and a New Anti-Racist Praxis. On the radio this morning, the Puerto Rican mother of a child slayed at Sandy Hook implored, in the name of her murdered daughter and living Black son, do not stop. Keep on marching. Do not stop short this time. The world was splayed open Memorial Day Eve by a 9-minute knee that broke the camel's back. and George Floyd's windpipe. Broke the other cheek we've been turning for centuries. A weeping teen held her ground against blue mace, had no idea her Facebook post of a man moaning for his mama as a cop crushed his life would reroute history. The world paused on its axis. Fire and throat, sacred rage, indignant love, hearts, prayers painted on boarded buildings. Molecules trill beneath 50 million feet, path no longer immutable, gravity shifting with unity's weight. Do not stop. In the name of Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, in the name of too many names to name, in the name of the never named, keep on marching till we reach the corner of Justice and Main Street, where every mother's child can breathe. Do not stop short this time. So I've done a lot of marching in my life, and this next poem is about the climate summit march that happened in San Francisco a few years back. It's called Just Breathe. A solo scrub jay, perched in a wrinkled orange tree, calls out dawn like nails on a chalkboard. I can still remember mornings like symphonies and plump oranges on glossy green. Oakland wakes to a gray brew of pollution and soot, and my sister can't stop coughing. A wheeze planted its rusty roots in her once pink lungs. Pesticides dripped, settle on a withered hibiscus. Birds fall, bees die. Monsanto, not my saint. Monsanto dances with the devil on a bed of crushed wings, dollars jingling in its pockets. I recycle, reuse, reduce, but what can I do to curb corporate cravings that shoot up towns and rainforests? Greenhouse gases spurting from exit wounds. Who would imagine we'd take to the streets and march for air to breathe, for water to drink? Thousand strong, our chants rising like ravens, we march for a future for this sacred earth. We march in the too hot sun so sweetgrass may always grow. We march lest we leave our children a fractured sphere, and to our grandchildren, nothing but prayers. This next piece is a prayerful piece. It's called Blessed, or Why I Love My Job. By the steps of Oakland's Iglesia Santa Isabel, a woman stopped me with, "Doctora," said reverently, as if she'd uttered Padre to the white-robed priest within the church's walls, face illuminated like rose and yellow light streaming through stained glass. A girl, maybe 7, was at her side. She presented me to the pigtailed child, Spanish lilting like a corrido as she recounted the months I laid hands on her growing belly, like a soothsayer cupping a crystal ball. The child looked at me, deciphering the mystery, cascades of gratitude flowing from her mother's mouth, splashing blessings as she cradled the child's crown. And this next piece is keeping in the mood of invocation. This piece I wrote inspired by Naomi Shihab Nye's poem, How Palestinians Keep Warm. And this is called How to Keep Cool When a Hurricane Knocks Out the Power Grid. Do not call up wind. You already know the great god Urukan, who spew his bitter breath on you. Do not speak his words. They have already burned your mouth, tumbled your walls, beheaded your palms. Do call up breeze, that delicate air found on wings of colibris and sea foam, scent of salistre a trail of perfume in Yemaya's blue wake. Do not call up snow. That blanket of whiteness Tio Joe sent photos of from Nueva York, seeking the sustenance those from the north made so hard to find. Fields of the Andes buried beneath concrete and debt. Do call upon the white sparkle of rain that doubles as drink and nurtures veiled roots. Boil yuca y lluvia till your abuela appears in the vapor, agua de coco cupped in her wrinkled hands. Do not give up as you stand in line 5 hours to buy gasoline for generators that poison your lungs and fill your ears with shrill, like the wail of 4,000 dead decomposing in the tropical sun. Do hang a hammock on a rooftop where you can see the moon and stars and remember the great god Urukan was your great-great-grandfather, and your bones are carved from ironwood, your blood a braid of many mothers. Espiritu long and strong is a Rio Grande de Luisa. Yes, one day there will be cool jugo de parcha to sip again, because resilience will always be your middle name. And I'm going to close this section with another poem about Puerto Rico. As some of you may know, Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico in September of 2017, and it still is not back to normal. And then a year ago, the island was hit by a big earthquake on January 6th, Three Kings Day, and the earth has been trembling for a year since. This is on top of people still recovering from the storm. So again, another piece about resilience, and this is Cartography of the Caribbean. Once, during the discovery, map makers placed Borinquen at the center of the New World. North America, not fully explored, was mapped like a snake, dangling above the island renamed Puerto Rico for riches the Spaniards found. The snake grew voracious teeth. Gold was devoured, ore became sugarcane, then petrol, pharmaceuticals, a tax haven, a post-hurricane clearance sale, Se Vende signs seen everywhere. So it sounds like old news when geologists explain shake after shake of earthquake swarms. The North American plate is pushing hard against the Caribbean, apretando till fault lines jolt, rocks explode, and Boricuas with frayed, singed nerves feel they're about to implode. Houses built on pillared legs fall to their knees. Schools collapse like tents of cards. Thousands of people sleep under the stars, afraid they'll be crushed by their homes. And every blackout chafes half-healed wounds, remembering. A year without light, months without water, weeks of waking to tell your daughter, eat your rice, mi amor, no hay nada más. Cascades of disasters reshape inner landscapes, like swarms of quakes reshape Puerto Rico's topography. In just 15 days, the city of Ponce sunk 15 feet, slid westward towards the setting sun. On Dia de los Reyes, Guayanilla woke to find Punta Ventana shattered, porthole in the stony cliff, now jagged row of teeth. And in Guanica, point of entry, when the US invaded in 1898, the ocean trembles. On the shore, a woman watches a meteor streak across the sky. Her house is a mound of rubble, but she is still standing, listening to the coquilles singing in the mangroves. Thank you.